Well, what's interesting about pressure by the alumni or others, there's pressure by many sources, groups, whatever, on anything. I mean, it's constant. I mean, so when I was appointed to the university, there were all those people that didn't want me appointed. And after I've been appointed now for 10 years, there's plenty of people that probably want to get rid of me. And I don't know who they're talking to, but so far I'm still here. And so it's not much more complicated than that. There's just lots of views and lots of angles. Is there happiness about the performance of football over the last few years? The answer is no. There's excitement about potential, and Coach Graham is sitting right behind you, and so he knows what his objectives are. Is there happiness about men's basketball? It goes unanswered. I mean, how could you be happy about 20 losses in a single season? And so it is our expectation that that none of our teams and none of our programs will be in the bottom tier of anything. Period. And that's not where we are. And so that's there. So there are objectives that we're not yet attaining that we're working toward with everything that we've got.
Steve, as you proceed forward and you look at the lack of success by the programs that are the moneymakers for the athletic department, what do you think it's been missing, and how do you rectify that moving forward to bring continued success?
I think bringing in Coach Graham and his staff, it goes a long ways towards answering that. We needed to have somebody that could build leaders, somebody who could develop a program, somebody that could play winning football, somebody that would connect to the community, somebody would be available to the press, do all the kinds of things that weren't happening here, to build affinity, build revenues, and build a winning culture and tradition. And if we do that, I think the community will react positively and we'll get to where we need to get to. So, sports is the great front door for the university. And it has an inordinate impact on the image of the institution. And I get reminded every so often that we're a relatively tiny part of the overall budget, but we get an inordinate amount of attention because of the athletic success or failures on the floor and field. And so we have to have success at football. We have to have success at basketball if we're going to have success in total at Sun Devil Athletics.
So let me say, relative to the football coaching model, one of the main requirements that we had in finding the new coach, Coach Graham, was that we were looking for an individual who was first and foremost, above all other things, a teacher, who wanted to take the teacher model as opposed to the professional coach model. Not that he's not a professional coach, he is. But what is he before he's a coach? He's a teacher before he's a coach. And he uses teaching as his methodology. We also wanted someone that, as Steve suggested, can, in the way that a local team should, be deeply connected to the community. And those were two conditions for the hiring of the new coach. And those were two things that we thought that we needed to correct.
I think really evaluating the team side of the operation. I've spent most of the last 9 months really reforming a lot of what we've done business-wise. We're going to sit down with the coaches here after we're done here in a little bit. We're going to sit down with the student athletes early this evening. So really working on those two parts of it, evaluating those parts of our operation, and then creating the plan to go forward to have the kind of success that we need to have. I'm very encouraged with what's happened with Coach Graham so far in that transition, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Do you expect to make more changes?
Potentially, I don't see us changing coaches, if that's what you're asking me right now.
Dr. Crow, you started this press conference by talking about how you are committed to winning contrary to public opinion. Does a move like this help change that perception?
Well, I don't know that a move by itself changes anything other than who sits in the chair. But what it indicates is that we are so committed to our objectives that we will continue to evolve the team until we have the team that can get it right. And we're not on the path that we have wanted to be on, and so we're continuing to adjust. That's what you if you have leaders that are trying to win in whatever contest they're in, if they're not making adjustments and making whatever changes are necessary to attain the objectives, then there's something wrong with them. And so we're making the adjustments to help attain the objectives that we're trying to pursue.
Is there any one thing that led to this, or is it a culmination?
The way I think about things is it looks something like this, and it goes to Lisa's role. Lisa achieved a lot, and the people that might be in this room that don't think that, you're not tracking. She achieved a lot. How much more can be achieved from her position and her whatever the set of combination of variables that might be needed to move forward. And so from time to time, this will be true with me, this is true with anyone that's in an executive position. When you're in an executive position and it looks like you've achieved a lot, but we still got 4 quarters to play, you know, it's time to change the configuration a little bit to continue to make achievement. And so it's not one thing, it's not one dynamic, it's how much more can we gain with the executives that we have in place. It's no different than Coach Graham saying to quarterback X or quarterback Y, I'd like to win this game, it looks like you're having a hard time, let's go with Johnny here instead of Billy. And so it's basically that calculation. It's a calculation of how do we continue to make forward progress at the level that we want to make forward progress. And that's what this is reflective of. We're not making as much forward progress at the speed that I'd like to make forward progress, and so we're adjusting the team.
Michael, there will be questions regarding Steve's credentials for this position, given his limited university experience and vast differences between the pro sports arena and the college sports arena. How would you address that?
Well, one of the things that we've had an opportunity, which is what I stated at the outset, is to get to know Steve in depth. Now, obviously, we selected him from a group, a pool that's not the normal pool, although it is the case that university athletic directors do come from diverse backgrounds. The Notre Dame athletic director, the Indiana athletic director, just picking 2 as examples. They come from diverse backgrounds. In this particular case, when I first interviewed Steve for his role that he had until today, what I found was a person deeply committed to education. He comes from a family of educators who became involved in sports, deeply committed to what universities stand for and what we're about through his own educational attainment, his family's educational attainment, his children's educational attainment. But then, having set that aside, I still, even at the interview stage, hadn't seen him operate. So now I've seen him operate for 9 months, and I have complete confidence that the culture shift between professional sports and university sports can be accomplished well by Steve. Now, even those of you that may have gotten to know him, he's been focused only on the business side for the most part for the last 9 months, and has done a great job re-engineering our business structure, setting new objectives, restructuring the way that we're moving things forward from a financial perspective, embracing the stadium renovation project in a significant way, and mastering those things very, very quickly. But in the midst of all of that, I have gotten to know him, and I know that he has the right temperament and the right commitment to our purpose. So sports is not a business for us. It is a part of our academic enterprise. But to make this program work, we need to earn $100 million a year. We're not earning $100 million a year. The earn means you can raise it, you can earn it through ticket revenue, successful television, bowl games, or what have you. We're not at that level yet. And so it's this combination of skills that Steve brings to the table, as well as an understanding of the sports themselves. I mean, he does understand athletics and sports and their business. And so from my perspective, he has the requisite temperament, skill set, and background to accomplish this assignment.
Steve, do you have a public personality, both in your comfort level in front of cameras, reporters, and getting out in the community? And how important do you think that is to this position?
We're not going to be successful if I don't do that successfully. You know, and I think if you look back historically, I've had to do that, whether it's putting the legislation together that got the Super Bowl to Houston and all the other major events that have happened across the state of Texas, whether it's putting the coalition together of city, county, state, rodeo, sports authorities, and Houston Texans to get Reliant Stadium built. You can't do that if you're not connected to the community working with the media, working with the elected and appointed officials on a regular basis, working with sponsors, working with season ticket holders. There is a difference here in that you have a philanthropy component at universities that isn't exactly the same. But I've spent a good bit of time working with a number of those people over the last 9 months. I was on the phone with half a dozen of them this morning before this press conference, and we'll continue to roll out those kinds of meetings as we go forward throughout the next months to get the projects done that we need to get done here to help endow the university's athletic departments, to help get the facilities built that we need to get built. And, you know, if you're not comfortable doing that, you're not going to be successful in this role. And it's something I've done for 35 years.